He is, arguably, the greatest climber of all time, a title he shrugs off. People who say that, he says, don't know history. Reinhold Messner was the first to climb Everest without supplemental oxygen and the first to solo it. He was the first to climb all 14 8,000-meter peaks. He brought alpine climbing to the Himalaya and redefined mountaineering in a way that made it a different game. In his native Dolomites, he established over 500 new routes. No one has matched his achievements, and they never will. Now age 66, Messner climbs with his son, is completing a mountain museum at his castle in the South Tyrol, and recently attended a trade show where he signed copies of his books. He's written over 50, and in a rare interview, sat down with Rock and Ice.
If you speak about all times, you are forced to put the climbs in competition. This is not possible. I think that the first climbs in 1786, when they climbed Mont Blanc, up to the climbs of Matterhorn in 1865, up to the Eiger North Face in 1933, up to the first ascent of the direct Ruppal Face by Steve House in 2005, you cannot put a comparison in. Each generation had the opportunity to do the goals of the time. And these are the leading climbs. And climbing history is nothing else than finding out what was the key climb of the time. But you cannot put a comparison between a key climb of the 30s, last century, and the 70s or now. And each is only a key figure in his time and not out of his time. For this is totally wrong to say this climber is the leading climber of all times. That's bullshit. They show me that they have no idea about history. Because history is I could be, maybe I had the leadership in high altitude climbing, there's no doubt, between, I would say, 75 and beginning of the 80s. Because together with Peter Haberler, we invented a new approach. And we were then the only ones for a few years, only for a few years, to behave in this way, because nobody else had the experience to do so. But we were overcome quite quickly by the Polish climbers, by the Slovenian climbers.